Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we will be implementing linear regression on the vehicle dataset from Kaggle. The vehicle dataset contains information about used cars from CarDeco website. Our goal here is to create a linear regression model that can predict the car prices using the given data. You can check out the description below to get a link of the dataset. Before moving forward, I would highly appreciate if you could take a moment to hit the like button, smash that subscribe button and turn on bell notification to stay updated. Stay tuned. For this tutorial, I will be using Jupyter Notebook to run and implement the linear regression code. So the first thing to do is to import the required libraries. Let's go ahead and import the different libraries. Import pandas to load and read the dataset. Then we are importing matplotlib and Seaborns to plot the graphs. From sklearn, we are importing train test split to split our data into training and testing sets. Next, we are importing standard scalar to normalize our data. Then let's import the linear regression library. Let's import the metrics to calculate the error of our linear regression model. And let's run the cell. Now let's set the file path of where our data is stored. Let's now load the data set into a data frame. So I'm giving a data frame name as car data, pandas.readcsv. And to see the contents, we can use a head function. Now we can see the first 5 rows in our data. Now to get more information about the dataset, let us use the info function. Now we get to know more details about the dataset, such as the number of rows, the columns and the null values. And as we can see from here, our data has 301 non-null values. That means there are no null values in this. But if you want to check for null values separately, we can use a snull function. Now this will give a sum of all the null values, but as we inferred, there are no null values in our dataset. Next, what we are going to do is to view the statistical data of our data. To do this, we can use a describe function. Now describe function is mainly used to view the statistical data of the numeric data in a dataset, such as the min, max, the mean values, etc. If you want to know more about the pandas library, you can check out my pandas tutorial series, where I go through some of the most commonly used pandas library functions. I'll add a link to it in the description below. Let's use the describe function to get the statistical data. And as we can see, it returns the statistical data of the numerical columns in our dataset. So far from our initial data exploration, we have seen that there are categorical values in our data. Now let us look at how to see these categorical values in a data frame. To do this, I am using the value counts function. To get the columns, I can type in, and this will return a list of all the columns in our data. Now this will return the different values in the fuel type column. Similarly, let's use the value count for the other categorical functions. Now since we have an idea about the categorical data, I am going to visualize the data. To visualize the data, I am going to create a bar plot. You can create a bar plot using matplotlib or Seaborns library. For this tutorial, I will be showing you how to do in both these libraries. However, if you want to know in more details about creating bar plots, you can check out my tutorial on this topic. I'll add a link to this in the description below as well. Now first, let's create a variable to store the data from our columns. So what we are doing here is, first we are setting the style as ggplot, then we are giving a figure size 15:5, then we are creating a title for a graph saying visualizing categorical data columns, and then we are creating a subplot with 1 row and 3 columns, and this is the first graph, this is the second graph, and this is the third graph in it. Our first graph will be fuel type versus selling price, second will be seller type versus selling price, and third will be transmission type versus selling price. Now let's plot this graph. Oh, okay, I missed a line. And as we can see, the graph is plotted. Now I'll create a bar chart using Seaborns. So what we are doing here is we are setting subplots similar to the one above, and we're setting the figure size and sharing the y-axis, and we're giving a title. Then we are setting up the 3 plots, that is fuel type versus selling price at first location, seller type versus selling price at the second location, and transmission type versus selling price at the third location. Now let's plot this graph, and as we can see, our second graph is plotted. Now if we look closely, we can see that the two graphs look a bit different. To understand the values being plotted, I am going to get the statistical details of one of the categorical data, say for example, petrol. To do that, I can use a group by and get group method. I am grouping by the fuel type, and then I am getting the group petrol from that. And we can use the describe function to see the statistical data. And if we look at this column, we can see that mean value of petrol in selling price is 3.26. This corresponds to the value being plotted over here. Similarly, the max value of petrol in selling price is 19.7. This corresponds to the value being plotted over here. Now let's do this for one more categorical column, say for example dealer in seller type. Similarly, we can see the mean price of dealer is 6.7, that is plotted over here. Max value of dealer in seller type is 35, and that is being plotted over here. So the next thing to do in our project is to convert the categorical data into numerical data. To convert the data, you can either manually encode the data or you can use one-hot encoding. To show an example, I'll manually encode one column and use one-hot encoding for the other two columns. For the fuel type, I'm going to use manual encoding. So car data dot replace the column name which you want to replace. Petrol should be replaced with 0. Should be replaced with 1, and we'll give in place equal to true. We set in place equal to true to replace the value into data frame. This is manual encoding. And now let's look at one hot encoding. Now here we need to specify the columns which we need to encode, which in this case is seller type and transmission. and we need to drop the original column. So what one-hot encoding does is it will create a new dummy column and drop the original column. Now to see a one-hot encoded data, we can use the head function. Now as you can see here, our data is changed and these are the new columns. Now let's plot a heat map to find the correlation between the different columns. So let's first set the figure size. To plot the heat map, we can type sns.heatmap, give the data and dot correlate. I am setting annotation equal to true to see the values inside the columns, and I'll add a title. And as we can see, our heat map is plotted. Now if I turn off annotation, the values will not be present inside the graph. So I'm putting it back on. Alright, if we look at the scale over here, we can see that the lighter values indicate a high value of correlation and the darker values indicate a low value of correlation. So looking at the selling price, we can see that selling price is highly correlated with present price and is least correlated with seller type individual. Now if there are a lot of columns for our data, we usually drop the columns which have the least correlation and we choose the ones which have a high correlation. But in this case, since we have only very less number of columns, I'm not going to drop any of these columns. To see the correlation better, I'm plotting a regression plot between the present price and the selling price. So here we are setting the figure size and then we are giving a title and then we are setting the x and y axis and giving the data for a regression plot. And if we plot, we can see a regression plot and we can see the correlation between the selling price and the present price. The next thing we are going to do is to perform a train test split. Before that, we need to split the data frame into x and y. Here selling price is our target column and our objective is to predict the selling price for different models. So selling price will be the Y data, and as for X data, I'll remove the car name and selling price. To drop a column, we can use the data frame drop function. X equal to data frame dot drop the columns which I need to drop. So in this case it will be car name and selling price. I'm giving axis equal to 1 to show that it's a column and y will be our selling price. Let's now print the shape of x and y. We can give x dot shape to print the shape and we can do the same thing for y. And we can see the shape of x and y. Now let's split the data into train and test set. So x train, x test, y train and y test. And to split it, we can use a train test split. We give the input data x comma y and then we need to specify the size at which we are going to split the data. So here I am going to give a test size of 0.3, which means 30% of the data will be our test data and 70% of the data will be our training data. And I am specifying a random state as 42. Now let's see the shape of our split data. So the next step in our project is to normalize the data in different columns. So we are going to use standard scalar to normalize the data. Standard scaler removes the mean and scales each feature variable to a unit variance. So let's load standard scaler and let's apply the normalization on the x data. Scalar.fit transform. Alright, so let's now load the linear regression model. Linear regression. And now let's fit a x train and y train on the linear regression model. X train and y train. Now let's create a variable to store the predicted values. We'll call it pred model.predict x test. Now to see how well our model fits the data, we are going to calculate the mean squared error, the mean absolute error, R squared score. To do that, let's import the libraries mean absolute error, mean squared error and R2 score. Now let's see the errors. To do that, begin typing print mean absolute error, and to calculate it we can type in matrix dot mean absolute error between the predicted values and the y test. So predicted and y test. Similarly, we can do it for the mean squared error. Mean squared error matrix dot mean squared error between the predicted values and y test values, and the R squared score matrix R squared score between the predicted value and y test value. Now let's see the results. Now mean absolute error and mean squared error are used to determine how close the predicted values are to the actual values. So a lower error value indicates a better fitting model. R squared is an indication of how well the model fits the data. So a higher R squared value indicates a better fit model. However, in some cases, a good model may also show a low R squared score. Now lastly, let's create a regression plot of predicted values versus the actual values. So regression plot between the predicted values and the actual test values. We can set an X label, predicted price, and Y label, actual price, and we can give the title as actual versus predicted price, actual versus prices, and plot dot show. So we have a graph of the actual versus predicted price. That brings us to the end of this video. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you like this video. Hope you got an idea about implementing linear regression model in Python. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.